Imagine the feeling of pouring your whole heart into a vessel that simply cannot hold it. You give your time, your energy, and your deepest emotions to another person, yet the relationship feels like it is slowly slipping through your fingers. You might look in the mirror at the end of a long day and see someone who is tired, uninspired, and perhaps even unrecognizable to yourself. Why is it that our most sincere efforts in love sometimes lead to our greatest heartaches? Is it possible that the love we offer is not enough because we have neglected the person who is doing the loving? Many people struggle with the feeling of being not enough for the person they admire. They wonder if they need to try harder, give more, or change who they are just to be noticed. However, the path to a sweet and lasting connection is not paved with desperation or total sacrifice. Instead, it is a journey of self-discipline, inner strength, and personal growth. Today, I want to invite you into a quiet, safe space to discuss a masterpiece of world literature that offers a profound warning for our modern lives. We are looking at Love in the Time of Cholera by the Nobel Prize-winning author Gabriel García Márquez. This book is often called an encyclopedia of love because it explores every possible form that love can take, from the passion of youth to the steady companionship of old age. Through the voice of Elena, your guide and mentor, we will explore the story of Florentino Ariza and Fermina Daza. Their story spans over 51 years, 9 months, and 4 days. While it is a grand romantic tale, it also contains a very harsh but necessary truth. Love is often in vain if we do not commit ourselves to our own growth. Together, we will learn how to avoid the trap of weak love by building a life of strength and balance. First, we must learn the art of recognizing our own value before we attempt to build a future with someone else. In the novel, Florentino Ariza begins his journey as a young, poor clerk. He falls deeply in love with Fermina Daza, a girl from a wealthy family. He spends his nights writing beautiful letters and playing the violin under her window. While his passion is sincere, he lacks the social standing and the personal stability to offer her a real future. In our modern world, we often find ourselves in a similar position. Think about a young professional living in a fast-paced city. Perhaps he spends all his time scrolling through social media, admiring someone from afar, but he does not invest time in his own skills or his own health. He believes that his sincerity should be enough to win her over. Furthermore, he might feel that his worth is tied entirely to whether she replies to his messages. The core lesson here is that the kingdom of love is a harsh and demanding place. In the book, Márquez suggests that women often look for a sense of security to face the challenges of life. If a man remains weak or stagnant, he cannot provide that sanctuary. To prevent the pain of rejection, your first action step is to create what I call a growth blueprint. Instead of focusing all your energy on how to get them to like me, ask yourself, what kind of person do I want to become? When you focus on your career, your physical health, and your emotional intelligence, you are no longer a thorn in the side of someone else's future. You become a person of substance. You must understand the word stagnation. This is a key word for us today. Stagnation means the state of not flowing or moving, or a lack of development. When you stay in a state of stagnation, your love has nowhere to go. You cannot build a house on a foundation of sand. Furthermore, we must address the necessity of maintaining equilibrium within a relationship. In the story, Fermina eventually marries Dr. Juvenal Urbino, a man of high status and noble background. Their marriage is often described as a type of social exchange. Fermina provides her beauty and charm, while the doctor provides wealth and a secure place in society. For many years, this balance works. However, as the years pass, Fermina's beauty begins to fade with age, and she becomes exhausted by the demands of being a housewife. On the other hand, the doctor's reputation continues to grow, creating a gap between them. This imbalance leads to conflict and even infidelity. This leads us to our second lesson, the principle of the equal value. In any long-term partnership, love functions like a marathon. When two people start at the same line, they can run together. But if one person stops growing while the other continues to move forward, the distance between them becomes a source of pain. Consider a modern-day couple, where one partner is constantly learning new things, traveling, and improving their mindset, while the other remains stuck in old habits. Eventually, they will find that they no longer speak the same language. In the flow of our conversation, I want to explain the phrase, set a precedent. To set a precedent means to establish an act or an event that serves as an example or a guide for the future. If you start a relationship by doing everything for the other person and neglecting yourself, you set a precedent that your needs do not matter. To avoid this, you must strive for reciprocity. Reciprocity is a beautiful word that means a situation in which two people provide the same help or advantages to each other. It is the secret to a marriage that stays fresh for 50 years. Action step. Evaluate your current connections based on 6 factors: appearance, wealth, status, knowledge, social grace, and character. If there is a massive gap, do not blame the other person. Instead, focus on elevating your own score in those areas. In addition to balance, we must learn to value the process of self-nurturing. After Florentino loses Fermina, he falls into deep despair. He does not eat, and he cries all night. But eventually, he realizes that he will never win her back if he remains a poor clerk. He begins to work incredibly hard. He joins a shipping company, passes difficult exams, and slowly climbs the social ladder. He also takes great care of his body, maintaining his strength even as he grows old. He waits for half a century, but he does not wait passively. He builds himself into a president of a wealthy company. He becomes a man that Fermina can finally rely on. The third step in our guide is to cultivate your own garden. There is a famous saying, "Don't spend your time chasing a horse. Spend your time planting grass, and when spring comes, the horse will come to you." This is exactly what Florentino did. In our modern context, this means focusing on your own excellence. If you are constantly trying to catch love, it will run away from you. But if you become a blooming flower through your own efforts, you will naturally attract the bees and butterflies of the world. Vocabulary moment. Let us look at the word obsession. An obsession is an idea or thought that continually preoccupies or intrudes on a person's mind. For a long time, Florentino's love was an obsession that made him weak. But when he turned that energy into self-improvement, his obsession became his strength. Furthermore, we must learn to appreciate the stump seasons of our lives, those times when we feel we have nothing but ourselves. At the very end of the novel, Florentino and Fermina are both very old. They are no longer the beautiful young people they once were. They are on a riverboat, and they decide to fly a flag that says there is cholera on board so that no one else will join them. They choose to be alone together in their stillness. They are no longer doing things to impress each other. They are simply being. The fourth lesson is the acceptance of stillness. Your value as a partner is not just about what you can do or give. It is about the quality of your presence. Imagine a winter forest. To a stranger, the trees look dead. But inside, the roots are deep and the tree is resting. We must learn to have this inner quiet. Action step. Dedicate time each day to be alone with your thoughts. No social media, no work, no distractions. In this silence, you will realize that you are enough even when you are not producing anything. This inner peace is what makes you magnetic to others. People are drawn to those who are comfortable in their own skin. This brings us to a moment of deep reflection. How do these steps help us connect with our inner voice? When we are constantly worried about being good enough for someone else, the noise of our anxiety becomes too loud. We stop hearing the truth about who we are. By focusing on self-growth, setting boundaries, and embracing stillness, we turn down the volume of our fears. We begin to hear that small, gentle voice inside that says, "I am becoming the person I was meant to be." That voice is your true guide. When you listen to your inner voice, you stop trying to buy love with your sacrifices, and you start attracting love with your excellence. You move from being a character in someone else's story to being the author of your own. Let us take a moment to summarize the path we have walked together today. First, recognize that personal development is the only foundation for a sustainable future. Second, use the principle of reciprocity to maintain equilibrium in your relationships. Third, focus on cultivating your own garden so that you attract love rather than chasing it. And fourth, embrace the power of stillness to connect with your true worth. These are not just lessons from a book. They are practical tools for a life of dignity and fulfillment. As we finish our time together in this quiet space, I want you to remember the long wait of Florentino Ariza. He waited over 50 years, but he spent that time becoming a man worthy of the woman he loved. I want you to have that same patience and strength. You do not have to settle for a love that leaves you empty. You are allowed to grow. You are allowed to keep your branches and reach for your own sunlight. By taking care of yourself, you actually become a better gift to the world. You become a tree that can provide shade for many years to come because your roots are deep in your own soil. If these steps resonate with you, share your thoughts or which step you will try first in the comments. Subscribe to Inner Voice English for more calm guides to a better life. You have the power to transform your heart. You have the right to grow into your best self. Until next time, listen to your inner voice and be kind to yourself.